Alright, hello everybody. Vinny and I are here to show you the next installment of Team Termini work here. Sorry we're a little late, but we have some technical issues with our Wi-Fi. So we're on data, which means you're probably not going to hear us too well, but it's okay. We told everyone to shut up until we're done. Okay? So my brother and I, it's been a pretty stressful week for us, but nothing like
Why is it so stressful?
It always is. Does it always seem that
It's
way?
June.
I know.
It's very stressful.
Always stressful. So what we're doing here is we're making our Long John cookies. Now this has been a Termini Brothers favorite for as long as we've been kids. And it's a real basic cookie. It's a very crisp cookie. It's made with shortening, and it's just really sweet, along with our raspberry jam here. The tartness of the raspberry, the sweetness and crunch of the cookies is the perfect combination. So it's not a very technical cookie, but it's a very labor-intensive cookie. And we're here to kind of show you what goes into actually making these. So Nick just finished mixing the batch that we were going to pipe out. And these cookies here were already piped, baked, and they're now being filled by our team.
TV style.
Yeah, kind of, but real lifestyle too, because we have work to do. So what Noelle is doing here is she's hand piping the raspberry jam into the cookie, along with Jaime. He's doing the same thing. And this, after they're piped here, what Vinny's going to do is he's just going to sandwich. Okay. And Jaime also is going to do the same thing. That good? Close enough for you?
Yeah. So, I know it sounds very elementary, but it's a very important job because all of these cookies are made by hand. They're all piped by hand, and they're all different, and that's what makes this product special. So you have to really find the cookie that matches the size, because sometimes when we bag them out, it's a shorter cookie, sometimes it's a longer cookie, and if it's too short or too long, it won't match. So you really got to find a cookie that matches the size. And you have to push down enough so the raspberry goes out to the side. When you bite into it, you get the perfect combination of fruit and cookie. This is one of my favorite cookies. Actually, they're all my favorite, but I love this one particularly because, well, I pushed down too hard. I guess I'll have to eat that one. There's almond paste mixed in. It's a butter cookie, but it has almond paste mixed into it. So it has that perfect, like, almond, raspberry, butter cookie combination. And when you open a box of cookies, I honestly think a mixed box of cookies, when you open that box, these stand out. You can really smell this cookie. The raspberry is just premium.
It's almost like a puzzle.
It is.
Finding the perfect one.
It is. It's one of those jobs where if you're doing it by yourself, it's kind of like gonna be here all day.
Tedious.
Yeah. But teamwork makes the dream work. So we have people like Jaime. And our guys jump in on it. I mean, there's 5 people topping, it's not so bad. My grandfather was actually, there's a picture of my grandfather in this spot. We'll post it afterward, but in this spot, he's bagging out the Long Johns, the raspberry on the Long Johns. We call them Long Johns. Some people call them fingers, because they're in the shape of a finger. And not too long ago, I was asking my brother why we call them Long Johns. I don't know why we call them Long Johns. I didn't know if it was named after a gangster or what. But my brother said it's because the cookie is in the shape of like Long Johns, like long underwear. I don't know how true that is, but we'll go with that. But this is a long-standing cookie here at Termini Brothers. It's been around my entire life, and I'm sure well before that. And God willing, well after. Let's see, the next generation.
How many do you think you're making today?
Oh. Well, they're piping out a batch there, and we have this batch. I would say maybe there's 30 pans. 2, 4, 6. I don't know, maybe like 1,000 cookies, maybe. I had to guess. You know, we make them as we need them. Sometimes we make these twice a week. Christmas time, we're making them every day. But it is faster once you get the hang of it. And the people who are bagging it, it's important that they bag them somewhat the same. But the raspberry preserve is like really, really premium quality. Like there's some out there that are just not very quality and they kind of taste like a little bit medicine-y. But this raspberry is fantastic on our tea biscuits too. A little inside secret. Butter that tea biscuit and put some raspberry preserve on it. Cool.
Could you ever put a different flavor of filling fruit preserve?
No, we don't, but I'm sure it would be good. So we make another cookie. It's called the Blondina, and it's similar to a butter cookie, but it's more of a dough. And it's like a fingerprint cookie, where we actually put our finger in it and we put apricot butter. That particular apricot will go really well with this cookie, I bet. Those are the only two preserves that we use. The raspberry and the apricot. And that apricot's really, really good.
I wish everyone could.
It's tart and it's sweet at the same time.
I wish everyone could smell the bakery right now.
We're a little immune to it, so we don't really smell it too, unless it's like really, really strong smell going on. But people come in and shop and oh my God, how do you work back here? I remember as a little boy going home, because the smell actually goes into like your clothes. My father used to come home every day from work. And my father got changed before he went home. He didn't go home in his work clothes. But even his home clothes, it like the smell and the aroma from the bakery, the buttercream and the sugar in the air, it like settled into his clothes. And it was one of those things that you never forget as a child. Certain smells and certain things bring you back to a special, happy place. My grandfather had that same aroma in his clothes. Here, Mark, come on over here. I'm going to show you how we bag them out. Everyone is hand piped, and that's what makes them so special. You know, everyone's different. Every cookie is different, and our customers appreciate that.
Let me watch Joe do it.
Mine are better than theirs. Mine are better than
I remember when we were little. You remember when we were little? We had that race with Robert.
Yep. There's our centers. I don't know. Hey, some of our old customers, you may remember centers. You remember these? Look at this. Right?
Yeah.
Remember?
So it was the same mix, similar mix, right?
Hey, get the bag.
And then we would get the raspberry filling.
It's almost like a thumbprint cookie.
These used to take forever.
Oh my God. Sorry, I cut in front of the camera.
And this was the race part. That's what we used to race Rob.
But Rob cheated that time, and he only did like 4 rows, and Me and my brother were working hard. The whole rack was done, but the whole rack was done. Only 4 rows on every pin.
In his defense, it was 2 versus 1. Got it. So you could imagine how much work is involved with this. But it's all worth it, because when we do this level of work, we know it can't be duplicated. There's a lot of people that try and duplicate it, but it can't be duplicated. Not at the the volume that we do.
And when you get that assortment of cookies, and you come across every individual cookie, I think I'm our best customer when it comes to cookies. Because I appreciate every single one of them. Every bite is different. Every flavor is different. And it's not like I leave any bad ones for the end. They're all good. Right? The spumenti, the chocolate bar. Oh man. I gotta take some cookies like that. I do.
Nick, what cookie is your favorite? To eat or to make?
Nick said he likes the blondina. So the blondina is the one that I was referring to earlier. It's like it's like a butter cookie, thumbprint cookie, and we put that apricot jam in the middle of it, and then it's washed and baked. That's your favorite? What about the peach nut? Same thing, same taste. I like the apricot better. Tart. How about you, Joe?
I'm a Pignoli guy.
Okay.
No question. Pignoli cookies are the best. They're the best. There's no question. And it's a combination of the tradition of us mixing it from scratch and using the best quality Pignoli nuts. You don't get any better. I think you're on track. How do you like the Pignoli?
I like the Pignoli.
It's not as good as the...
Something about the buttery blondie.
The tart, the rag is so good. The apricot has a certain tartness to it. Pignoli.
Joe, Nick might be going faster.
Faster doesn't mean better.
Huh.
It's hot in here. It's hot in here. So this shop doesn't...
While we're doing those long johns, this is... Sorry. This is awesome right here. This is one of, I think, maybe my favorite thing that we have here. I'm going to break it open. It's a hot blueberry muffin.
Sorry.
You can see it steam.
So not only is it dynamite just like this, but we insert it with lemon curd. And then we dip it in icing. Can't eat it right now, it's too hot. Nick's laughing because he knows I'm not eating this stuff right now.
I think you should eat it, man.
We're gonna eat it. Nick was wondering what I was gonna do with it. This is the best thing.
So does the temperature with the base of the cookie right now, do you have to work really fast?
Well, we have to work really fast because we have a production schedule that we need to keep up with. But in terms of the weather, like the humidity, this dough is pretty...
In the winter time, that's when you have to.
Yeah, because in the winter, the longer it sits, it gets colder, and then it turns into concrete. And then we all look like Popeye the Sailor Man by the time we're done. And I know I'm going to get yelled at for talking into the pan. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, this is, like my brother said, this is one of those items that, brings us back to our childhood. It's one of our first jobs. This in the centers. Rob's not here. Rob had to leave early today. I wish he were here to kind of give his take on it because he's been doing it for 40 years. I've been doing this. This is his responsibility. This is one of his jobs. We're just assistants at this point. This is
We're
one of Rob's.
filling guys. But he's not here.
But mine are better than Rob's too. Definitely better than his. I have a small tip too. This tip is too small. So I don't like this one. I like the bigger tip. Man, there's a bag here.
No, I'm watching you guys back going get what you got.
He doesn't want to do the work.
I'm the manager. I'm the supervisor.
Did you shove it down on the ball?
Charlie's making skinnies over here.
Well, you know, it's funny that he says that. This is one of the reasons why we keep them together on the rack. Because for every top, there is a bottom. Because they're handmade, if you try and put mine with Nick's fat guys over there, then it's going to look like a skinny guy with a fat guy. Kind of like where we are, right? I'm the skinny guy with
There's no wrong shape, but as long as they match, because the people who are putting the tops on to match the ones at the bottom, if they were using Nick's versus Joey's, they would have two different shaped cookies.
But again, that's the uniqueness of a handmade product. You know, oftentimes we get some new customers that will come in. We just had a complaint not too long ago about our pain cheesecake, and they were disappointed with how soft it was. And what the problem was that they didn't realize that it was a handmade shell and it was a scratch-made pineapple curd, and it was made with baker's cheese, which is much looser than a cream cheese. And it is a looser pie. It's just this, cheesecake. We had to kind of explain to them, well, it's the same thing with everything else. So if you're used to a manufactured product and you get some items that don't exactly look like a machine-made product, you think there might be something wrong with it, when in fact, this is the way it should be. This is the way it should be. This is a handmade product, just like you're making in your kitchen. That's why I always say, what you make in your kitchen is better than all of this, because you don't have the professional tools in your kitchen to make that cake, and it's made with all heart. Nothing's better than that.
Tommy McWilliams. I remember bagging these out when I was there.
Yeah, I'm sure, Tom. You were a Popeye the Sailor guy. Tommy was a big guy when we were little guys, right then?
Yeah, Tommy was a baker in the 80s. I don't know if he started here in the 70s.
I'll probably tell you.
But Tommy was like a big guy. He was like everybody was a big guy. Me and Joey were standing on milk crates back then, working at the bench, just so we could reach bench height. His nickname was Bam Bam.
Tommy McWilliams' nickname was Bam Bam from the Flintstones. All good memories.
He's watching right now. He wants you to get a hold of him. Ooh.
Thanks.
So was that an air pocket that just happened?
Yes, it's an air pocket in the bag.
So normally that happens like when you fill a bag up and you have a gap from the last refill to the new refill. Sometimes you have to burp the bag.
So what will happen now is after these are piped out, Nick will bake them. It's a quick bake, right? What is it? 8, 9 minutes in the oven. And then you get the crispy cookie bases over there. And then they're all hand pipe filled and topped. It's crazy when you think about it. I know there's some manufacturers out there that are looking at what we're doing here and they're saying, I got a machine for that. They're crazy. I think we are a little crazy, to be honest.
But a lot of people, they realize and they appreciate that there's a clear difference between a handmade product and something that's not.
And, you know, we don't make these too often. Like this batch, this will carry us for at least a week, if not 2, because we're doing 2 batches. We're gearing up for Father's Day here. That's why we're kind of making them. And, you know, if we're not making them every day, then we should make by hand. You know, it gives it that extra special uniqueness.
And you know, they store really well. Airtight, cool room. They have a great shelf life. If you buy some, take it home. I think the raspberry that keeps it cooking nice and soft.
The cookie, the kids love these cookies. Kids. And then tell them about why we don't pack them right away. These have to sit.
Oh
24
yeah, so
hours.
after we put the cookie, after we sandwich the two cookies together, you can't just pack them away. They have to sit on the rack and air dry. So the fruit gets a chance to dry, and because if we pack them right away, the sandwich cookie it would get messy. So it's important that the fruit gets a chance to dry between the two cookies.
I hope we're not boring everybody. This isn't one of those drone jobs. Look at things, oh my gosh, so much stress. It's a monotonous job, but it's an important job because this is one of those items that continues the tradition. Man, there's a bag here. My arms are starting to get a little tight here. I'm just hanging out. Come on. Eat the blueberry muffin. Come over here and help us. Yeah, we were going to do a lemon ricotta pie video today, but we still haven't worked it out. So, I have to come fill my bag. Can you follow me?
Yeah.
So, during Easter, we had a lot of requests for kept carrying our ricotta pie throughout the year. And, you know, at Easter time, my brother and I are looking at each other and we're exhausted at that point. We're just like, you can't possibly do that. Our ricotta pie is something that is a labor of love for sure. I mean, we have to hand roll each pie, shell, mix each batch from scratch. It's a multi-process product. But we must have had about easily 15 to 20 requests from people out of state. People that were, you know, in Arizona or what have you. So we looked at it and we said, you know what? Let's play around with the idea of maybe doing it. Here comes an airplane. Just give you all a heads up, I forgot to pop the bag. And we talked it out with Nick and Vinny, and we decided that we could do it. So we're in the process now of working it all out. So hopefully by next week we could do a Facebook Live of us actually making them and kind of give you some insight with that. But it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing ricotta pie. It's made with lemon. It's just so good. Refreshing, creamy, all of those things that are associated with ricotta pie at Easter.
The ricotta pie during Easter is cinnamon. We don't make a lemon ricotta during Easter.
Correct.
So we're making this specifically for the summer. And it's going to be something that we carry possibly all week long.
And it ships, which is a bonus. To all you people out there that aren't from Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, it's something that you could purchase. We're also thinking about bringing back the lemon and cherry pie for the summer. Still trying to figure that out. Should be a part of those conversations. That's me, Vinny, and Nick, and we sit here at the table and we're just like, how do we do this? How do we do it well? But I feel good about that. I think that's going to happen. By the 4th of July, we should have those pies available.
When was the last time those pies were in store?
When's the last time what?
Those pies were in store.
So
Go ahead, man.
Oh, sorry. So we never made a lemon ricotta pie or offered it in the store. But during Easter time, when we had the pie shells readily available, we made a small test batch of it, and it was phenomenal. It was so good that we actually considered carrying it for Easter instead of the cinnamon and making the switch. However, all of our, it was last minute and all of our prep was already planned out. So we nixed the idea, but we love the actual product. And that's why we're going to try and bring it, we are going to bring it for the summer. sooner than later. As far as the cherry and lemon pies, actual Thanksgiving products, we only carry them for Thanksgiving week. We never make them during the rest of the year. But a lot of people miss it. A lot of people love those pies.
It was Joe.
Joe,
Last name?
Atlanta.
He couldn't believe it. We only made our fruit pies for Thanksgiving.
He was wishing for an apple pie.
Yeah, he was begging us, please, you gotta make one. Kind of put a thought in our head. We should make it a seasonal thing.
So we were thinking, like, what flavors we wanted. Like, apple pie is good, but apple is more of like a fall flavor, so we were more or less leaning towards lemon and cherry.
My vote was for apple. I thought we had enough lemons. I was overruled. I was overruled by 2 to 1. Did you vote for lemon? You voted for apple? What's your vote? Were you not listening to our conversation?
No, I'm saying when you guys voted for the flavors,
I thought we had
I was
your
left out of that conversation.
conversation.
You're
Never finished.
You're the deciding vote. Go ahead. What do you got? We've only picked 2. Right now, you're on the.
We're gonna go with cherry and
Hot seat.
blueberry.
No,
Blueberry.
No, blueberry. That wasn't an option. Lemon, cherry, apple. Come on, dude.
Lemon. It's gotta be lemon.
See, now I have to
Issues, but you know, that's stuff that we have to discuss.
Lemon is a Sicilian fruit.
I mean, I don't want to get into logistics, but lemon would be a better choice. Logistically. What are you doing?
Someone said peach.
Peach.
We used to make a peach cake. Does anybody remember a peach cake?
Peach fruit.
Anyhow, we used to make a peach cake. We used to buy peaches by the cases, and we used to boil them just to get the skins off. And we used to put them in a cake pan like a dough. It was almost like a Danish dough. And then we would like put crumbs in the cake pan. Do you remember that peach cake?
I do. My grandfather burned his hand on the grains over there. He used to boil them and used to take the skin off. That was a real Sicilian cake. So the deal with peach, here's the problem. We only like to use stuff that we can make. So if we used a peach, if we did a peach pie, we would have to buy a filling for that peach pie that is Tony Maloney. Comes in a bucket or a canned peach or something. Because peaches are seasonal. So we make our lemon curd for our lemon pies. We make our cherry filling for our cherry pies. And we make our apple filling for our apple pies. You know, we control the flavors and the integrity of the product. We make it from scratch. I have a muffin here. Someone's got a muffin that they
It was just a show.
So that's the problem with the peach. That would be, Nick would be cursing us all over the place if we went to a peach pie. That's a tough one.
But like Joey said, you could get peach, like peach filling in a bucket. And it's not our style.
Something to eat. Yeah,
Maybe next year, buddy.
yeah, we can take a look at it. But you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I think they do sell actual peach slices, frozen fresh peach slices. Take a look at it. Apple and apple, lemon, cherry. People that they love that pie. That's what they get Thanksgiving. That's what they want our customers.
Soon enough, we're going to be getting ready for Thanksgiving.
We already did. We already are. We're already ordering stuff for Thanksgiving and Christmas. All our mixed fruit blends, and fig filling, and figs themselves. We have to get all that stuff in now, so that if there's an issue down the line, a supply issue, you guys still get your cookies. A little bit of an investment financially, but we don't want to run out during the holiday season. much time are we?
I think it's been about 30 minutes.
It's been about 30 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys hanging on. You might be bored with what we're doing here. Anybody has any quick questions for us? I'd be happy to answer for you. Maybe Mark can go pan over to see how far they got in the film. How we doing over there, guys? Good? We got a set. Right. Mine is bigger than yours. So yours is on top.
Do you guys want to say a quick goodbye?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We don't know what next week is, so we're trying. Look, we're figuring this all out as we go. Last week we had a problem with doing it because we ran into Memorial Day, right? Kind of messed up our whole schedule. But we're going to try and do this on a weekly basis. If we don't do it on a weekly basis, it's definitely going to be on a bi-weekly basis. So next week is Father's Day, by the way. Father's Day next week. Don't forget your fathers, uncles, brothers, all those special guys out there. So we'll probably be doing some sort of production in terms of pastry for retail. Maybe we can only, we'll see. You have to figure it out. We'll sit down tomorrow and figure out what each course is. So keep tuning in for sure. And as always, thank you for joining us. We love having you.
I hope next week that lemon regatta pie. I hope that's
There
the
we go.
one.
Should never say anything. That's gonna be a week-long thing here. Well, we got the shells in our end. It's all Nick's fault. With the lattice. He has to figure out the lattice.
You try it today?
Oh, did he?
That done?
I didn't have 10 seconds to try it today.
It's been a lot. What did we make today? Just tell me.
We made pizzelles, pizzella dough. We made cuccinati cookies. We made scometti cookies. We made chocolate bar cookies.
And
Long John cookies.
we had a lot. We had a lot of work to do today. And the Wi-Fi wasn't working. So thank you for the patience. That's it. I'm signing out. You signing out?
Signing out.
You signing out?
Over and out.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much for your support. We love all of you.